Hello guys, so this is Rider Molten Strike. Very strong Uber boss killer, but is not very good in map clearing at the very late game when we farm juice map. So we're gonna change to Lightning Strike for mapping. So we will talk about how to change to Lightning Strike and Molten Strike later on. So this is Molten Strike. We're using 3 elemental damage claw with high attack speed, high crit chance. And then we're using the Nimbus Ring. Nimbus Ring basically double up our projectiles hit. So we fired 6 projectiles at the moment. With Nimbus Ring, we hit enemy 12 times for every attack. So this is Guardian and Pinnacle bosses DPS. So this is point blank damage with 6. This is 25 million. And then we're going to count non-point blank DPS, because the return projectiles maybe doesn't gain point blank benefit, right? So 3.5, 6, 21 plus 25, 46. And then we're going to include melee DPS 1.7. So this is around 40 to 50 million DPS. So we are using Ashes of the Star in these versions. Very powerful and also very budget compared with Your Suffering we used before. So this basically give everything to us, like Stable Mark effect. So when we put here, there are 34, put in 42, right? And then also Whirling Blade attack speed, Berserk cooldown, also give level to Wrath, and then Purify Bird and Grace. So as you see, the Molten Strike deal 40% less projectile damage when we gain benefit from Ashes of the Star, so it will minus the less damage to 26%. And the best thing about Ashes of the Star in this league is Enduring Cry with Call to Arms, automations with Steel Skin. So the War Cry will trigger every 3.64 with the boost implicit. Without the boost implicit, will trigger every 4.04 seconds. So it doesn't matter, you don't need the boots actually. So if you want, you can. And then our Steel Skin will trigger like every 2.27 seconds. So which is very good, like it buff all our aura, our mark skill, and our Call to Arm setup, our guard skill, our Enduring Cry setup. Another very good thing about Enduring Cry cooldown is we using lead by example. So lead by example say when you War Cry, you and nearby enemy gain onslaught for 4 seconds. So we usually will always have onslaught, better than none, right? 20% attack speed, which is good. On the passive skill, we buy a very good Leather Pride, and then it have 4 of double damage right here, and then it actually 5, right? But I don't have skill point to get it right now. And then very basic everything, like multi-shot allocate by Amulet Annoyed. And then we have cluster use setup, Wind Up and Fan of Blades. So we just can solve our mana problems. We will talk about it later on. So we have Branders Pack, which increase global critical strike chance. So this is basically 100% increased critical strike chance. This cluster is most important when we don't have this less projectile speed and this reduced projectile speed. Our projectiles is not concentrate enough, so we do need this cluster very bad in Molten Strike versions. Point blank, so 1 point for 30% more damage is very good. And then we have 100% charge durations. We should get 3% damage per charges, but if you want to do something like always maximum frenzy charges, you can take the charge durations, and then with the body armor implicit, gain frenzy charge every 15 seconds. So this is lesser Series SR implicit modifier, so you don't need to use Grand or Greeter, so it will save you some currency if you want to do this. So we are using Purify Blood, Grace and Wrath. So if you want to use Purify Blood, you need Sublime Form and then Electric Present. So 1 from the small cluster jewels and 1 from the Megalomaniac, and then you get lead by example if you wanna get onslaught. If you don't want to get onslaught, it's fine. You can just get another small cluster jewels. The budget will be lower. And then we also need increased mana restoration efficiency on helmet implicit. So Enlighten, Wrath, Purify Blood and Grace. Enlighten level 3 is enough. So if you want to use Purify Blood, we need Unset Ring because our socket is already filled full. So if you want to make it white, you have to buy an almond and use chrome. So we will quickly review the gears I have. I will tell you what the necessary modifiers on our gears. So 3 elemental damage claw as high as possible, high attack speed, high crit chance. If you not cap your accuracy, you don't use the power charge durations, and then you have to get the accuracy node right here. Maybe you can get something like fractured on the glove, on the helmet, on the shield. You can get accuracy. So you need mana reservation efficiency of skill with grand, and then lesser mana cost. You just have to make sure your mana enough for using Molten Strike twice. So another for life for resistances, Ashes of the Star with multi-shot anointment. Nimbus ring is nothing special. So on the ring I have recoup, but this is not necessary. The necessary might be the intelligence. So we need intelligence, some resistances on our ring. For the shield, we have 60% reduced critical damage taken. If you want to craft this, you put on the Holy crafting stations. So you reinforce critical until you get something good on prefix. Just buy a fractured one. Fractured chance to spare spells, fractured chaos resist, fire resist, anything you need. And then you're going to reforge critical until you get tier 1. At least tier 1, 55 is enough, I think. So you don't have to get a perfect roll. It doesn't matter. So you just get something good suffix and craft life on the prefix. So we are critical immune right now. Enemy cannot deal critical damage to us. To achieve this, you have to take critical mastery. This is 30%, and also from the tattoo, another 5% here and another 5% here. So this is how we immune critical. For the boost, Breathe the Ground is very good because it basically hugely increase our critical strike chance. As you see, without Breathe the Ground, our crit chance dropped to 80%. So Breathe the Ground is better. And then on the body armor, melee hit 45 and then gain frenzy charges every 15 seconds. So if you want to always having maximum charges, if you don't, you can take something like recoup and aura effect. So it depends on what you want, because losing frenzy charges is very annoying and can lead us to very dangerous situations. Onslaught when hit suffix is wasted for now, so I just leave it here because I'm just lazy to, we gotta make another improve. So I will just leave it here right now. So we have well prefix, chance to avoid elemental elements and chance to avoid being stunned on the prefix. So this is just enough for us to cap our elemental elements avoid and also stun the void. So if you use the craft modifier, we will need some more chances to cap our elements avoid and also stun the void. We will use our boots, and then we use lesser eldritch icon to get elemental elements avoid implicit on the boots. And then we gonna use one more tattoos to cap our stun the void. They are 10% each. Stun the void. Spell suppress is very easy. You just get from your body armor, your shield, your boots. So you can just buy fractured and then like all of it. Try to cap your resistances. Chaos resist at least positive, I would say. So we also use the flasks to get some physical reductions. As you see now, when the flask is on, we have 44%. With the endurance charges, because we are enduring cry very frequent, so we basically sustain our endurance charges. So there are another 12%. It grow to 56%. With the Pantheon, we will get some more, reduce avoid projectile chance, and then reduce elemental damage taken, physical damage reductions just a little bit. It's not much, it's just a little bit help here. So we're having around 60 physical reductions with the flask on, and we have 79% chance to evade attack. 79% is not insane, but with Purify Blood, some physical damage reductions, I think is good enough. So spell suppress is not capped, 99%. So you should cap it by using tattoo or something. So you just use tattoo on the text node. I think it doesn't matter, 99%. right? I think. And then we have 6% physical tick as fire and lightning. So this also help a little bit. So just keep in mind, if your physical reductions is 75% or above, you don't want to use this because our physical reduction is 60% around there. So we use this to help us to against the physical damage a little bit. So on the glove, you need maximum frenzy charges and non-loss flash skill target 2 additional nearby enemies. At least one, right? At least one nearby enemy is good enough. So if you think the map clearing in this setup is terrible, I think it's terrible, but I don't know how you think. So if you think you need some better clear, like tier 16 map, tier 17 map, you need to swap to lightning strike. So how we gonna swap it? So lightning strike, add the lightning, and then molten strike, concentrate effect. But the color is not right? So we will always have night blade, Trinity, and then elemental damage with attack, multi-strike. This is what we always have. So we need green, blue, red. So we need another white socket, and then add the lightning for lightning strike, and then concentrate effect for molten strike. So we do need make the socket color right, and then we need one white socket for molten strike and lightning strike. This is not easy to get. If you want some quality of life, you don't want to recraft your socket colors always, so you can do this. And if you don't mind to craft socket color always, you can just reforge one blue, right? You just keep reforge it, and it will get the color socket you want very easy in this space. So when we swap to lightning strike, we have to swap these two gems, molten strike concentrate with lightning strike, and then add a lightning precisions with blood and sand. I will just put precisions right here with F4, right? So var lightning strike right here. And then we also gonna do some adjustment on the passive skill trees. So we gonna refund point blank and this cluster, adjacent animosity, and then we're going to get pierce cluster and more projectile speed. So the 1 point left, you can get something like life. We don't use point blank with Nimbus ring because we only deal 1 point blank projectiles hits actually for single target. So we deal 2 of return projectiles because you hit the ground and you hit the enemies. So they have 2 return projectiles that count as far range, right? So that we will losing damage. And then if you don't use the Nimbus, right, you can use point blank. If you use Nimbus ring, you don't use point blank. So you might curious why Nimbus ring with lightning strike, because of projectiles behaviors. So you hit the target and you just hit the ground. So there are 2 hits for every attack. If you're using Nimbus ring, the return projectiles on the target can hit once more. The ground hit projectiles can hit another once, right? So you can hit a single target 2 more times with Nimbus ring with the return projectiles. And then I think Nimbus ring random projectiles direction is actually upside because we don't have to take aim, right? Maybe we run here, there are monster behind us, right? We have to click there, right? If you are using the regular version, we have to aim, right? With the Nimbus ring, we basically don't have to aim. We are firing 7 projectiles, so we don't have to aim. The projectiles will go backward, right? Go everywhere. So I think this is very good for map clearing. So for the flasks, we need immune bleed, sulfur with critical strike chance, evasion rating, increased armor and flat armor, life flux with remove curse, and then we use chance of emancipation. The lightning strike is just enough for tier 17 map if you roll the map comfortable enough. So but the downside of lightning strike is there are many projectiles on the ground on the battlefield, so you basically cannot see what's going on, what the boss are doing. So this is the downside of lightning strike. So I not suggest for uber bosses. I prefer molten strike for uber bosses, lightning strike for tier 16 and tier 17 maps. So this is the video today. If I missed something or any questions, you can leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.